Sorry. Been missing for a while, haven't I? It's been a couple fair old couple days, hasn't it? When did we last see each other? Saturday night. After what was. Right? Yeah, that was fun. Well, nevertheless, we're here. Spending a lot of time on that Pendlebury documentary, guys. Spending a lot of time. Hey, Alex, was that you who I bumped into on the streets? Was that you, brother? Correct me if I'm wrong. I do remember your name and Alex that I bumped into on the streets the other day. So it is. How are you doing? Get the big Roo in, I reckon. Kynan, what do you reckon? Get him in? Played well against Geelong in the VFL game that we all watched together in McStay's return. And then he played against Carlton and kicked 2 goals on the weekend. So maybe he can give Darcy Cameron like a bit of a chop out in the ruck and let Darcy Cameron play rest forward. And while Big Room may not be ready to necessarily play as a ruckman, he probably isn't. But given the circumstances, what have we got to lose? That's my opinion. That was someone else? My bad. My apologies. So many Alexes here. There's quite a few Alexes that tend to jump into stream, so my apologies. Yeah, what else we got? Same with Harry and TJ. Big Roo won't be ready until next year. I said the same thing. I said if we were still a chance to make finals, which we sort of somewhat are, you could make the case that we don't bring Roo in. But I think if finals are done and dusted, he shouldn't be too far off. I think he'll get a game by the end of the year once we realize we can't make finals. If we don't make finals. All good. Yeah, all good. Gaming and fun. How you going? MD, Melbourne. Hi, bud. I'm a new subscriber. I found your channel the other week when you went live after the loss to Hawthorn. The first bloke you had on cracked me up. Manny is a lovable figure. He's not everyone's cup of tea. I certainly love having him on, as too does Caleb. And yeah, we want to get everyone on. It doesn't matter who you are, what type of opinion you have. Just speak your mind, and whether people love it or hate it, we're going to have you on. We're going to have you on. So, hey, I appreciate it. So you found the stream. You found the channel via the live stream. Coxie's back. We don't need Big Root. Yeah, fair point. Fair point, Robert. That is a good point. I forget to mention that Coxie is likely in for Kruger. And then Schultz for Sullivan? Is that what we're thinking? Obviously, it's the extended teams today because the game is on Sunday. So there's a chance I come back tomorrow evening and talk to final teams. Not much. Just work and grinding out the Scott Pendlebury documentary for this Sunday. Yeah, it's going to be a big one. The champ is here. Steve, how are you, buddy? How are you, brother? Extended lineups will be released today. Hence, we are here. Finals are still alive, but very slim. Yeah. What stats are you referring to, Kynan? We know his ruck work is good. He averages close to a goal a game in his career. He's a big finals player. We know that. He's proven. Specifically, what is it? You know what, Steve? It'd be hard to drop him after he signs that 1-year extension. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that saves him this week. And the fact that he is Fly McRae's love child. I think that's what it is. I think the contract is warranted to the extent that he is a player that can provide depth. And hopefully Harry Demeter and TJ, or at least one of them, can step up next year and pretty much take his position like for like. Mace has the goggles because he injured his eye a couple of years ago. The fact that we win 80% of our games with him in as our main ruck. The thing is, kind of, I don't know how many games he's played as our main ruck. I wouldn't say too many outside of this year. Right? If we make finals, who are we going to play? Well, we can only finish 8th or 7th or 8th. So you're looking at your Port Adelaide, Geelong. I'm not too sure. Do you think Nick is going to win the Brownlow? I'm actually not too sure. We've lost the last 4 games, and we're falling out. We're out of the 8 right now. Usually, that's an indication of your likelihood of winning the Brownlow. Not many players win the Brownlow outside of the 8. I think you'd have to go as far back as Gary Ablett. If guys, don't hold me for ransom here, but was Gary Ablett the last player to win a Brownlow and not make the 8? Is that right? Let's see. Digsby, first game of the year, huge. Maybe too little, too late though, Diggs. You got the faith? Have you got the faith? Cox is semi-blind. Such a big presence. Oleg got another year. I can't believe Markov is always in our top 22. He fumbles in the back line, directly lead to a game-losing score. Yeah, beats me, Robert. Beats me. He's had a down year. He's had a very down year. Last year, he was very serviceable, very commendable. Can we get that back from him next year? I don't know. Hello, Manny. What's going on? To get a contract for Collingwood, you need to prove that you are incapable of playing consistently. Fair. Personally, I think Nick has dropped off a bit since last year. Ooh, I don't know about that. That's a hot take. Rate Bobby Hill 1 to 10. He's out of form at the moment, last couple games, Bobby. Generally speaking, he's probably like a 7.7, 7.5 on an average basis. Cripps, Gold Coast. It's some stat that shows with Cox in, we have an average of 75 to 80% win rate. It's something like 80. Very nice. Oh, okay. Sorry. Cripps in 2022. Outside of that, you got the faith, Digsby? I love that. Love it. I think the Pies will bounce back. We will win this week, guaranteed. Otherwise, the game against Scotty's 400th will be a somber event. Yeah, I talked about it in the preview that it's important to win against Richmond, to have some sort of energy going into Carlton for the sake of Pendlebury's 400th milestone game. 87 and 16 win-lose with him in compared to 8-9 him out. I don't know how much that attributes to Mason Cox versus the team just playing really well over the last 36 months-ish. Something like that. Who do you think is our best VFL player besides the boys who have already debuted? Well, Dimitir hasn't debuted, so he's probably the first one in mind. But the other player who's not actually AFL listed is Sam Glover, who is the skipper for the team, and he is an unreal defender. Unfortunately, he doesn't want to play AFL, or at least that was the case a couple of seasons ago, because what I've seen from him this year at VFL level, it'd be playing for the Collingwood Football Club at AFL level, I dare say. And he's only 27. So if he wants to put his hand up for the preseason supplementary period next year, hey, why not? Would have re-signed a Hoskin, Elliott, or Howe over Oleg at this point in form. Yeah. Digsby, your favourite, Hoskin Elliott, probably had his worst game of his career last against Hawthorn, right? You would have been licking your chops. Jibbo, how you going? Hey, bud, I agree. Play the kids and fringe players to do a stock take before the season's end big couple of draft periods coming up for the Pies. It's a big couple of draft periods coming up for everyone, considering the Tasmanian team is going to take a bulk load of probably the first round draft when they do come into the league. So it's a massive next couple of seasons. And thankfully, hopefully, Thomas McGuan can aid us a little bit throughout this sketchy period of not knowing sort of what the best way probably. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how teams attack the next couple of drafts with the new implementation of having the Tasmanian team a part of the league. Come on, watch on. Let's do that. We complete the look, right? Want to be the part, you got to look the part. That's what a wise man once said. Chuck that on. Cool. All right. Moving on. Nick needs help. Fuck me. What else can the kid do? Yeah, there's not much else the man can do, right? Maybe go to halfback. I don't know. Do you think anyone is making a debut this week? I wish I knew. I really did. I really do. I've been out of the loop this week. I can't even lie. Just with the documentary, I don't want to be incessantly bringing up the documentary, but that's what I'm doing. Like I'm either working or I'm on the documentary. But maybe Harry DiMattia. I don't know. Maybe that's a far cry. I don't know. But I'm not hearing too much about debutants and young players coming in this week. We'll see. Harvey Harrison will come back in probably. He rested. He was actually rested. So he didn't play AFL and he didn't play VFL. So he was managed. We always live for Carlton. We'll give it a shake for Pendles, I reckon. Yep, Glover. Luke, how you going? We should never have gotten rid of Ginnivan. Hindsight's 2020, isn't it, Luke? Hindsight is 2020, my friend. Is that Luke Ashton, by the way? Is that Luke Ashton? What's going on, if that is? Ginnivan was playing, he just never really had much of an opportunity last year. Won the flag. What did we give up? I think we gave him away for peanuts. Let me double check. Draft Guru. I'll search up Ginnivan trade, Draft Guru. Ginnivan trade. I just think it's so hard. So Collingwood. What Collingwood gave was Jack Ginnivan, pick 39, which wasn't used, a second rounder, and another second rounder. What Collingwood got was pick 33, which was not used. Sorry, that's right. Estimate. Okay, sorry. Hold on. So in this year's draft, we've received a second round draft pick, a fourth round draft pick. Well, we've given that away. Sorry, guys, I've cooked this. Let me start again. Let me try this one more time, okay? Trust the process. So we gave away Ginnivan. We gave away pick 39. We gave away a second rounder this year, and we gave a fourth rounder away this year. What Collingwood got was pick 33. They got Hawthorn's second round swap, and they gave us their second round, which is a third rounder, which is estimated to be at pick 39. Hopefully that came across nicely. Side bottom half forward from this point onwards. Too old for wing, not good enough overhead to be an intercept defender. He does struggle overhead. That's probably his knock on his defensive game. I don't think any team is standing out this season. Anyone can win a premiership. Yeah, at least in the top 6, I think anyone's capable of. I think he should get another year as a small forward, depth only. Let's go, champ. Shama. Yeah, that was Manny. That was definitely Manny Costo, MD. Manny, you're a cult figure on the Pies Footy YouTube channel. Everyone's loving you here. Got to get rid of Hine. Terrible drafting outside of champions for 15 years. Some bad luck included in that. Okay. Do you think we are missing Mitchell in the middle? I was hoping Sullivan could just be a direct replacement for Mitchell, but I guess that's a pretty naive way of looking at things. I wasn't thinking someone would directly replace Mitchell. I just thought someone could do enough of a job to cover his loss in the contest and gain some speed on the outside. But Lockie Sullivan isn't as good on the inside compared to Tom Mitchell and has no speed on the outside. Oh, it had to be Finlay McRae. It had to be Finlay McRae, and it just hasn't worked out this year. Stop champs. Steve, how you going? Who is actually our recruiting agent at the moment? Maybe Digsby, if he hasn't answered already, he would probably know. Pritter since 2014 also won it from the outside of the top 8, winning the Brownlow. I don't think he'll retire. MD, I don't need fame, buddy. I've been a member for the only talk facts who've been playing shit out. Get Manny in this week to the club and tell the boys they're playing like crap. You know how Collingwood get their mothers in and whatnot on Mother's Day and all that sort of stuff. We should get Manny in this week. That'd be funny. Let's get a petition signed for Manny to give Collingwood a pre-game rev up. Why not? Sucked in. Harvey Harrison hasn't done much for a month, but I think it'll be better for the run. Digsby. Yeah. Missing the ground of Adams. Yes, he couldn't kick over a tin, but we do miss his clearance work. Classic defensive midfielder. I think Tom Atkins or Drew. Give Pendles 1-year contract with the avenue to coaching with Collingwood. The rest of the oldies in the team need to be phased out to free up cap space. I like Jeremy Howe still. I do like Jeremy Howe still. Yeah, let's talk retirements at the end of the year. I'm not ready for this conversation, Dennis. Hey, Theon, how you going? Evening, brother. 25 here today in Geelong. Better effort this week now. Last week was like an undercooked eel. Nice. Yeah. Went to Geelong. Outside of that, I've just watched it from home to ensure that I can do the pre-game and post-game show. Yeah. Get excited for Dimitia. He's the cream of the crop. Mwah, chef's kiss. That's what he's saying. Dylan Alexander, the man. How are you, brother? How got a trigger for 2025? Pendle's starting to show his age a bit, being mediocre since his bicep injured his age. I don't think he's cooked, but that purple patch won't be seen next year. Derek Hine is our recruiting agent. We're definitely missing Tom Mitchell in the centre. We're getting smashed there. Got some really obvious delistings, though. Vital, Begg, Krugs, medically. Bigsby, you and your infatuation with all these, career-ending injuries. Krugs, fucking... What, you suggesting he's going to retire because he's going to have ongoing concussion symptoms? I think what did you say last week? You said you hope McStay doesn't do his ACL again in his return game. You are. You're an interesting character. You're an interesting cat, Digsby. Bytel, I don't think Bytel will get dropped. Wade was using the same wording as the concussion stuff. All right, then let's open up Collingwood's website. Let's have a look. What's going on? Let's watch some Collingwood content. Hold on. Time to clean out the closet, guys, says David Williams. Injury update. Let's do the injury update, yeah? Let's do the injury update. Present. Share screen. Share. Let's get this injury update.
Wow. Together for 25 years. Here's some silver to celebrate our silver anniversary. We want to thank our oldest and our most celebrated partner, Emma.
Here's to more moments, more celebrations, and more success. together with Emirates.
Hello and welcome to the Round 20 injury update presented by AA Vitality. From the weekend's games, our only new injury from the weekend's game was Nathan Kruger in the first quarter of the AFL game. He was diagnosed with a concussion, so he enters the 12-stage protocol and is in the care of the doctors through that protocol. Has started some of those early phases, so we'll see how that progresses by this time next week. A couple of returning players or in hopeful return.
Hold on. Digsby, you said Wade was using the same lingo revolving around Carmichael's ongoing issues. All Wade said was he's in a 12-day concussion protocol period. He's in the early phases and he'll be reassessed. So we'll see. Not we'll see. Sorry, what am I talking? Not we'll see. That's completely wrong.
Turning, Lockie Schultz, he had the concussion a couple of weeks ago now, has moved through the protocol, is into non-contact team training. Once he passes through that contact session, the final session of the week, he'll be declared fit to play. So we're not expecting any issues for him, but we've got to make sure that we're ticking every box as we get towards the end of that protocol. Charlie Dean's in much of a similar boat from the concussion he had in the VFL game. Again, completed all of the early phases into non-contact team training at the moment. Should he clear the full contact team training on Friday, we'll be able to provide an update and they should be made available to play. So positive to have those two guys back out there. Jacob Ryan's another one. He's missed about 3 weeks now with a calf injury. Progressed really well last week. He did some modified skills and was able to do some of the team training and then completed a sort of match simulation load session over the weekend. That's then cleared into play. So he's been through that sort of final loading session. So he'll get out there and play some footy this week. Be good to have Jacob back out there on the park. The other one's Bo McCreary. He was sort of that close to Jacob's time frame, but also potentially going to be a bit longer. And we're just going to hold him for another week. Again, he was able to progress into some team skills last week, but wasn't quite ready with some of the markers to do the full loading session on the weekend. So he's just that sort of 1 week behind. Again, he'll complete more of the team training this week, a little bit more skills, and then over the weekend he'll complete his full match loads, and we're not expecting that to be any issues this time around. So he'll look to be available next week. Tom Mitchell, he's going well with that foot. Again, we had that little bit of a deload period over the last 10 days. That's improved some of his signs, which has been really, really good and really positive. So we're able to make another step now forward, which is that sort of one step backward to go forward mindset. He's back on the Ultra G treadmill, so the anti-gravity treadmill, where he's running with restricted body weight, feeling really comfortable on that. We'll get through a week of doing that and then look to see whether he's ready to progress to going outside or not. So the little download period has been done well for him. We just, again, need to see how the next 1 or 2 weeks pan to see how quickly we'll be able to progress his running. Checkers, with that pec injury, he's had the surgery. He's been able to come in. He started lower body weights. He's able to start sweating now post-surgery, and all of the markers that we look for to commence activity are good. So he starts feeling like an athlete again, which is the first step in that sort of mid to long-term recovery period. He's able to do leg weights. He's able to jump on a bike. He's starting to complete his rehab program from that point of view while maintaining in a sling, because we know the first 3 to 4 weeks in that sling is a critical time frame from the pec injury point of view. He'll maintain in that for the next couple of weeks. Oscar Steen, so he's sort of been progressing very, very slowly from the surgery that he had around about 8 weeks ago now. We knew that the time frame was starting to get a bit close towards the end of the season around how much work he would have to do to prove his fitness to get out and play some footy before the season's out. Unfortunately, now he's starting to run out of time from a workload point of view. He's still maintaining. He hasn't had a setback in his program. It's just we haven't been able to progress the loads as quickly as we wanted to, and making sure we're assessing how he's going. So he'll maintain the program he's been on. That's 2 running sessions a week, and then the 3rd session he does inside here at the AA Centre on the gymnastics floor and things like that. He'll maintain that program for a couple of weeks, but unfortunately, when we do the progressions of timeframes, he won't be able to get enough work in now to make sure he returns to football in a safe manner this year. But we'll make sure we continue to progress him as he's able and as he's comfortable, so that we set him up to have a really big off-season so that he can attack next pre-season really well. And Aiden Begg, the final one. Pretty exciting news hopefully this week for Beggy, because he's getting closer and closer and closer to a return to run. So hopefully by the tail end of the week that you'll see him outdoors running, starting a straight line running process. So he's got another couple of things to tick off over the coming 2 or 3 days. And should he clear those markers like we expect him to, then by the end of the week, he'll be doing his first running session. So a really big positive step in Beggy's time frame. And that's
all right. What do we take from that? Let's have a look. So Kruger concussion, as Digsby's pointed out, 4 concussions is not ideal. Obviously, we understand that. Charlie Dean is working through the concussion protocol. Schultz should be available. Ryan, who's been, again, as Digby mentions, has been forgotten. I don't know where his position stands at the end of the year, whether he'll stay on the list if he's got another year in him. Bo McCreary, one more week. Do you guys remember when I made that? Who's gonna make our best 22 for the finals? That's when it all went downhill, right? That's when we slowly made our way out of the top 8, and now it's almost mathematically impossible to make the 8. That video is going to bite me in the back of the ass, isn't it? Tom Mitchell, foot to be continued. He's on an anti-gravity treadmill at the moment, so he's still got some things to do to work through before he gets back into the team. I think his season's all but over. It sounds like there's too many obstacles to get to an AFL intensity game. Checkers onto the weights. Finally, post-surgery, so good for him. Steen, toe, just running twice a week. We'll probably see out the rest of the season like that. And Begg will return to running program, hopefully by the end of this week. So that's good news. Bell says, I'm going to the match on Sunday. I do go for the Dons, and this will be the one and only time I'll be going for the Pies. Cool. I mean, it doesn't. Collingwood winning doesn't do any favors for Essendon, but I suppose you're going with someone who goes for Collingwood on Sunday. So the more the merrier, Bell. We appreciate it. He's had 4 concussions, not great. Jubas has put a helmet on. The forgotten man. We've had too many. We've had a lot of concussions. We have. It must be said. Yeah, it must be said. And Checkers as well. I think last year will be Checkers. Next year will be Checkers. Last year, starting to get old man soft tissues, and will be 32. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Big list of injuries, lots of red flags on the list. Just so much to work through. Yes, I do, Anthony. Yorgos. What do you mean, sorry? What did I miss? Yorgos? Josh, 199 centimeters, if he can get fit, could be a key position back or forward. Yeah. How did he go? I think he's been playing forward line in the VFL. How did he go against Carlton, guys? Does anybody recall? Because I don't. I actually don't. I didn't get the chance to watch the game against Carlton in the VFL, unfortunately. And McCreary. Oh, you do remember the video. Well, I'm not going to be. I might not be wrong. If we don't play finals, then McCreary doesn't play finals, right? If Collingwood don't play finals, so maybe I'm right. I don't know. What else is going on? Woody, mate, how you going? Fuck. I've mentioned a couple of times in the stream. I've just been working and doing the Scott Pendlebury documentary. At all worried about the Tiggies? I'm just a bit numb, mate. I'm just a bit numb at the moment after the game against Hawthorn. I'm still grieving. Although the hunt for finals isn't necessarily over mathematically, we've got to beat Melbourne, Carlton, Sydney, Brisbane to even be a chance to make the finals. So that's how I'm feeling. Just get the boys on the James Hird program. We'll be flying next year, I reckon, Steve-O. That will sort us out. That's for sure. Oh, God. I don't have any graphics for you guys this week, unfortunately. No time. What are the concussions per club so far? I'd have to say Collingwood would have to be up there. Collingwood would definitely be up there. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Hey, let's have a look at something else. Let's have a look. I'm pretty sure there's a fatherhood and football with Steel Sidebottom. A new video just came out. Let's watch some of it. Do you guys want to watch it? Let's do it. I want to watch it. Let's watch it together. Add to stage. Let's have a look.
Gambling ads are priming kids to start betting as soon as they're old enough. Prepare your kids for the future by talking to them now about how gambling really works and who really wins. Talk to your kids today. Love the game, not the odds.
Morning. Good. She probably needs about 10 minutes. Come on in. That's Ziggy. They're off to get a clipper today, actually. I think main days for me is I'm usually up a little bit earlier than everyone, but today's been good because we've got a bit of a little later start, so I'll be able to drop Matilda off. But usually I'll do pickups and Leash does drop-offs in the morning, which works perfectly. Who do you prefer to take you to kinder, mum or dad? Oh, that's nice. Because I've actually got like a bit of a plan in place. I feel like when I was young, I used to just wing it and, you know, go to the club, do what I need to do. I would never be rushing out the door. I'd, you know, sit in the spa for an hour after or whatever it was. But yeah, now I feel like I've got a bit of structure in my life, you could say. So there's probably less stress there because I know, you know, where I've got to be and what I've got to do. So yeah, the pickup at the end of the day is probably a good thing. It can keep me on my toes at the club and not too much fluffing around towards the end of the day. To be honest, Leash does all the heavy lifting. And, you know, I think at football at the time you have to be a little bit selfish in what we do because, you know, we're required at the club a fair bit, and obviously Ned being young as well at the moment and still being breastfed. And there's a big fella now. It's more me getting Matilda out of the house so at least she can have 5 minutes to herself. I mean, he's not moving at the moment as well, so he's very reliant on his mum, which we all are.
It's probably a bit easier at the moment because I'm home from work.
Yeah.
Normally, we haven't had to do the 2 at childcare juggle yet.
Fly has been huge, and you know the longer I've been there, it's like the more kids are obviously turning up as well, and even just on the weekend to see so many, you know, young kids in there singing the song, kicking the footy around after the game. Yeah, it makes having a win so much more special to be able to share it with not only my kids but all the other boys' kids as well. And yeah, not even just game day. Like I feel like even if Leash is busy or something, and you know, I can always take Matilda into the club, and there's always someone at the club that's willing to help out whenever they can as well. But yeah, the club says family first, but it's one thing saying it. They definitely do, yeah, act in that way as well. I never feel like my family's never invited to anything. It's always, you know, an open door policy. And Matilda, you love coming to the footy too, don't you? Yeah, going in the pool, singing the song. Matilda, you ready? Yeah, we're gonna go. Well, what if you're late? Who gets in trouble if you're late? Mate, bring your toast with you. You can bring it in the car. We're gonna have to run.
My necklace.
You all right? Angela won't be happy if you're late. Tilda, come on. Yeah. Hold my hand. Here. Ready? Go, go, go. Well done. Quick, jump up. All right. You love the camera? Give him a smile. Show your teeth. Show your teeth. Smile. What do you got on it? Jump in. You know, I've always wanted to be a dad. You sometimes I wish that I was a dad earlier, but then obviously in life you got to give things up as well. But this is all part of being a dad, dropping the kids off at kinder, the pick up. Matilda loves kinder as well, so it's a good time of the morning if we're up early enough. Sometimes we might stop and get a coffee and a hot chocolate, but I love being a dad, and this is just one of the many joys of it. Sometimes when things aren't going smoothly in the morning or whatever, and you might be 5 or 10 minutes late, you're not going to have someone breathing down your neck when you get into training, which helps as well. And I can get a bit hot-headed at times as well, that's probably another thing that will keep me a little bit relaxed. But mornings are usually pretty good for us. It's more going to bed that's the issue at our house at the moment. But I don't feel like I've got to rush things too much unless something really important's on. But to be honest, I don't think I've really been late. And you're pretty good, aren't you, Matilda? At the moment, obviously, sleep's pretty important, not only for me, but for Leash as well. But it's probably not great, but I've picked me battles, but I've been sleeping in the spare room as well, which, allows me to get a good night's sleep. And, Ned hasn't been the greatest of sleepers at the moment. But that's another thing why, I love Leash so much, is because, she always, wants the best for me and what's going to help me perform on the weekend. So it's nice when I'm actually able to do a few of these things and drop-offs as well, that, she can have a sleep in or, put her feet up for a while. So, I'm very lucky that sort of Leash allows me to do some things that, allow me to get, a good night's sleep or whatever. Like, even things like calendars and stuff, like I've never been one to, jot things down or put something in my calendar. I just always think, I'll remember it. But, one thing that helped, even just Leash and I have like a joint calendar thing, so chucking things in. But, just obviously looking at our schedule as well and when I can do drop-offs and pick-ups and things. But I guess just like anything, you just learn to make do with whatever's thrown at you. But obviously Leash on maternity leave at the moment as well, which which helps. Matilda's at childcare Monday, and then kinder on Wednesday and Friday. So there's obviously pick up and drop off on those days, but then Tuesdays she's doing some gymnastics. She does some swimming on Saturday. So there's plenty of moving around, and it's probably only going to get worse in that aspect because, kids sport and birthday parties and all that thing. But sort of like I said before as well, like I feel like it's all part of, having kids, and it's one of the things I love doing. We might need wine.
Oh, did you throw that?
No.
This is why we don't have toast in the car.
Quick, come on, we've got to get out of this rain.
I don't need my.
Oh, sorry. Quick, come on. Quick, come on.
That's not my friend.
Give me a kiss.
Let's go. Let's go.
Done. No tears. Great, thank you. Can I please get a almond latte?
Small one?
Yep. And just the regular latte as well, please. Best in the biz. Just a latte for me. Leash gets an almond latte. Tash, I had to go at me for filming it. When we had no kids, like we were terrible. I'd almost wait for Leash to get home from work at like 7, then we'd cruise the supermarket. So we wouldn't be eating till like 8. I don't have any kind of structure in my life. I feel like I just wander off and I'm real blasé. So it's nice to know where I need to be and what I need to do.
In a way, it's like having a shift worker, like having a football player, because you know, like your whole life is dictated by the footy draw. So there's a lot of structure in the footy season. So you can kind of like plan almost your whole, well, now half a season.
Oh. Is that yum? Is that yum? Ned's, when he goes down, he's like every 2 hours or something, isn't it?
He'll make like any time.
7:30 is a great result for Matilda. I feel like she wakes up better than she goes to bed, that's for sure.
Ned is probably just like a normal baby, but Steele's been in the front room, and I'm up there with him.
So for Sidey, just working on some of that back stiffness he's got, trying to get him moving from a muscular perspective, and we'll do some stuff out in the gym as well, and some some exercises to get him going. And the idea is just to set up the week so we can get him rolling for the back half of it, leading into the next game.
Baby back.
Baby back, yeah, exactly right.
Too much older than baby.
Exactly right.
Yeah, so physio and treatment is, really important to me, as it makes me feel good about my body, which then helps me plan out the week as well. So that'll mean that I'm best prepared for match day. Thanks for following along.
There we go. Hey, that was that was a long one, wasn't it? How do we like that? Do we like sitting through that? Or was that a bit too long for you guys? Too long between drinks? I didn't mind it. It was okay. What about you guys? Me too, Steely. Yeah, he's a creature of habits, that man. Otherwise, he might find himself at the pub without a routine. Old mate Sidey. Future father-son draft. I know. Ned's side bottom. Jack's side bottom. Jack's Pendlebury, sorry. A few to be licking the lips about in the next 18 years. In the next 18 years, I reckon that'll be good. Oh, excuse me. Thought out. What have you got for you guys? What else? What else have we got? I'm rattled. I'm still hurting from the weekend. I remember that last quarter. I don't know about you guys if you turned it off, or I just kept walking up and down the living room. I watched like 10 seconds of the game standing up, and then I'd walk back up and down the hallway. I don't know what I was doing. I was waiting to get to the post-game show, but I couldn't start it until the game had finished. So for like the last 10 minutes of the game, I just end up walking up and down, trying to pass time. But I just felt like I felt like I was just going crazy. Like it was just like a blur. It was the moment I realized Collingwood's final series will be over, like well and truly. And now I'm still just grieving. It's okay. We won a flag. It's okay. It's not the worst thing, is it? You were there, AA. You were there. Did you watch the whole game, or did you watch as much as you can? It was, yeah. I was at the Geelong game, and that one was tough to watch. So kudos to you if you made it through 3/4 of that game being at the G. I'm almost, yeah, you got plenty of time, mate. Plenty of time on the clock. You'll see a Pendlebury Junior and a side bottom junior. Don't worry. We'll get you through there, MD. If the Tigers beat us, the feeling will be worse. You reckon? I don't think so. I think nothing will beat getting pummeled by our bogey side, Hawthorn. Yeah. Hawthorn and Geelong just ruined my childhood. Like, come to think about it, yeah, we've had our moments against Geelong as well. We've given them some moments to forget. I'm thinking 2007. I'm thinking 2009. I'm thinking 2011. I'm thinking a lot of years. I'm thinking 2022. Yeah, I'm thinking 2022 when Jeremy Cameron did his thing. Yeah, I've had our number. Michali, how are ya? G'day, pies by 50, McStay with a bag. I love that. I would love that, actually. What's the weather for this game that we speak of on Sunday? Let me check. It's at the G on a Sunday, 110. The weather will be on Sunday, 12 with a 90% chance of rain. Partly cloudy, high chance of showers, most likely in the morning and afternoon with possible small hail. Great. Love that. I got lucky, mate. Jimbo got lucky. Couldn't watch the Hawks game. Tuned into the chat and Manny was thinking. Yeah, it was a bit like that. I think a lot of people jumped in as Manny was doing his religious prayers. Get your lace on. Get your lace on. That one will go down for the ages, won't it, that one? No matter how the team is performing, hopefully everyone will still get behind the boys. And if you can, get to the G next week for Pendle's 400th game. Legend. 100%. I mentioned in the preview, there's got to be ways that we've got to get the boys up and everyone else, the fans, the coaches, everyone involved. I mean, what bigger milestone than Pendle's 400th? Like, how do you not get up for that, right? Anybody that has the Cats as the second is legit cooked. So you're saying anyone suggesting Geelong is second favourite to win the flag? I agree. I don't think they're second favourite. You're looking at Sydney, Brisbane, maybe Carlton if they show a bit more in the coming weeks. No, I won't. I don't think so. I think I'll be watching it from home. I love that song. I miss it. I want to hear it again. Again, it's good when we're winning. Quite clear, like it better when we're losing. Let's go, boys. Bring it home and let's have a crack at back-to-back. Let's have a try. Richards and Schultz to kick 4 each. Pies by 43. Well, on that note, what are our predictions for the game, guys? Come on. Give me a player prediction and a result prediction. Give me your best shot. All right. Go Pies. Well, Ant, they did not know what they were doing either. Benny, evening champs. Started a new job today. Finished at 6:30 public transport. Walking home. I'm tired. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hey, man. Appreciate you jumping in after a big day at work. We always love a bit of Benny Parsons in the chat. Appreciate it. I hope you're well. This Sunday, I want to hear the chant. It's been missing for weeks now. Brizzy do look very good. I remember doing the ladder predictor like 10 weeks ago, and I had them finishing top 4. I thought they had a little bit more in them. Hopefully a win and they get their confidence again. I'm more meant in terms of second favorite team having a soft spot for them. Cats, yeah, they have that. No one, if like I said, if somebody has Geelong as their second favorite team to follow behind their actual team, I don't know. They've just given many clubs trauma over the last 20 years. Draw, Steve-O. No thanks. I think the Pies will win by 32 points. I think we beat Richmond. Carlton is 50-50. Lose to Sydney. Beat Brisbane and Melbourne. Sneak into the 8. I don't know. I think if we lose one more game, I think that's it. We'll see. Adderall says full stop. Me too, my friend. Yeah, player predictions. Let me get some. We'll save that for the pregame. We'll save it. Is Cox playing? Probably. This is an extended teams release at 6:20. So the actual teams will come out. The full teams will come out tomorrow. Close to this time tomorrow. So I might do a stream then. I might not. I'm not too sure, but we'll get a fair idea of who's going to be in. I think Mason Cox will come straight in. No. Pies by 35. Mason replicates prelim 2018. Kicks 5 goals. Love that. I think we can beat Richmond surely. Love that. I do love that. Our probs just head to Torquay too often. Yeah. You familiarize, you've acclimatized yourself being around too many Geelong supporters. Too many Geelong supporters, my friend. That's the one. Yes. What else? What else have we got? What else have we got, guys? What else is on the agenda? Let's have a look. What have I got for you? What about Bobby? What are we thinking about Bobby Hill? Where's he at? Where's his head at? Should we be concerned, or I feel we'll beat Richmond? Okay. So I've actually got a couple of things, Jimbo. You've given me a couple ideas here. How'd you end up being a Pie supporter, Anthony? Is a generational? Yeah, my old man was a Collingwood supporter, and his old man was also a Collingwood supporter. So it is generational. Tony Shaw interview did not happen. I think there was a slight miscommunication. I had asked him to reschedule the podcast an hour back. So that morning, we had the podcast booked in for 5 p.m. I said, can you do 4? I think I had it for 3, asked to push it to 4, and then he didn't respond. And then apparently he was waiting for the link. So it was just a massive miscommunication. So I'm not sure where that's at if I'm going to get that, unfortunately. However, my dad, who nearly played for Collingwood and is a local footy legend, I'm probably going to get him on the podcast, bring you guys into my world a little bit, and also get someone in who's had experience at the Collingwood Football Club, training with Tony Shaw, Gavin Brown, all those sort of players. So, and he's played VFA as well, the old VFL. So thought I'd get him in and bring you guys into our world a little bit. Howie and Cripps 250th coming up. Yeah. Good question. Let me see if that's something we can look forward to as a club. AFL tables, Jeremy Howe. So when do we get Jeremy Howe 250? He is sitting at 247. So we'll have Richmond, Carlton, and then straight after that, we'll have Jeremy Howe after Pendle's 400th, which is funny. Or not funny, but it's just coincidental. Jack Crisp. Where's his 250th? So he's on game 244. So we have to play finals for Jack Crisp to make 250 this year. If Bobby Hill wants to return to WA, what are we asking for? I'm keeping him. Peter, as much as I can. I don't even want to entertain giving him back to Western Australia. I think we'll get a pretty decent win on Sunday. I hope so. I remember last year when the boys were saying they were flat just before the finals. They'd do a different training routine. What were the key points from Flyers presses if you did watch it? It's actually not posted on the website, Benny. We ended up just watching the injury report, and we watched a new video of side bottoms, like a day in the life. So we just did that. We will just beat Richmond and lose the rest of the games. Bobby's not having an impact, but at the same time, we are getting the ball. Exactly. Your forwards can't have good games if we're only getting it in 40-odd times a game. Less. That was, Woody, that was last week. And to your question before, am I in post-production? So it's a 40-minute documentary. I'm 20-odd minutes in. So tomorrow night and Saturday is going to be like a documentary bender, production bender. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have no life. And I'll actually, you just reminded me, I need to respond to you on Instagram about our catch up, which probably I can't do. I can't do it tomorrow. Pendles has taken over my life this week. So I apologize, man. I do. But I do want to see you, mate. We're due for a steak and a beer, which I wouldn't mind doing soon. Who is better? Nick Dacos? Come Come on, gaming and fun. You answer that question for me. Yeah, you know those ones. Where are you at, Woody, with your content, bro? Like, are you far off? Are you far off, or what's the hap with your next video? Where are we at? AOG, appreciate it. Yeah, Nick Dacos, of course. Josh Dacos is good. He's a great player. But Nick Dacos, we're talking like GOAT status, greatest of all time status. Yeah? So can't compare the two, unfortunately. As good as Josh Dacos is. Nick Dacos all the way, says Benny Parsons. 9 minutes to extended teams come out. Come on. Peter is better than both, says Dennis. Peter is better than both. Nick by Flemington Straight. Yeah. Peter is better than both. What's so for some of the people who lived through watching Peter Dacos, who would you rather? Nick Dacos or Peter Dacos? Rick, guys, our future isn't looking as bad as everyone thinks. We just need a gap year after mental fatigue of the last 2 years. Coaches will reset over the preseason and blood some youngsters. Hopefully it goes that way. I do hope it goes that way, Rick. Maybe not, Benny. Not with Mason Cox in the picture. Probably not yet, but he's not far. Retire the number 10 when the has to. Have to retire number 10 when the GOAT is done. Retire it now. But let Pennells keep it till he retires. So you still think Peter Dacos is better than Nick Dennis? I have to ask. I have to ask the question. Hey, you know what? I know there's a lot of people here that probably haven't lived to see Peter Dacos play live. So let's put it in a live stream poll. One moment. Live, click on this, pause, poll. Start a poll. Who is better? This is tough. Nick Dacos, Peter Dacos. This will be interesting. Don't mind us. And Rick is right. Yep, 100%. Nick Dacos over Peter Dacos. Peter was skillful and a goal kicker. Smashing out most likely a All-Australian 2022 based on selectors' history required stats. Also putting together a template for team reviews. Also trying to smash out another stat video with another stats dude. Huge. Always keen. Always excited for your videos, Woody. Our future is fine. The media just loves sticking to us when we're down. Tough one. Peter was amazing. Nick could end up being better at this rate. Who would you go for if you didn't go for college? Collingwood? Oh, who would I go for if I didn't go for Collingwood? For some reason, no, not for some reason. I was going to say for some reason I always liked Fremantle, but yeah, it would be Fremantle just because I loved watching Nat Fyfe in his prime, and they never really hurt Collingwood. So probably that's part of the reason as well. But I just loved everything about Nat Fyfe in his prime. As good as Nick is, he has a bit to do to reach Peter Dacos. I never saw Peter, but appreciate him as a Collingwood fan. But if Nick can keep his form for a long time, then he could surpass his dad. Yeah. So it's Nick Dacos in favour. I think maybe at similar times of their career, could we argue that Nick Dacos at age 21 is better than Peter Dacos at 21? Is probably a more fairer question to be asking. I just started following Colin last year and also Peter Dacos. And has Peter Dacos got a Brownlow? I don't think so. Ben, I remember going to Vic Park and Waverley. He was an absolute freak. Yeah. I actually just learnt the other day that Gary Ablett Sr. never won a flag. Is that right? Is that true? Can you believe that? On volume of work, you would say Peter Dacos is better at this stage, but Nick Dacos will pass him next few years. We will have 3 Dacos in the Collingwood Hall of Fame. What a family of champions. Exactly, Peter. Nick wouldn't have survived that era. Nick is better at this point in his career. Peter changed the game. All the forwards nowadays do what they do because of Peter. Yeah, a real trailblazer in a sense, right? Yeah. Excuse me. Nick wouldn't have survived that era. That's an interesting one. I think if he grew up in that era, sure, if you threw him in now, it's a different story. But if he grew up in that era and acclimatized to the game, I think he'd be just as good in a different way. Really. 4 minutes till the teams come out. Extended teams come out. Let me get it ready. Give me 1 second. AFL.com.au. What are some of the fixtures? Video added on. So we've got Carlton versus Port Adelaide. That'll be an interesting one. I think at this point we're probably going for supporting Carlton because Port Adelaide are probably, if Collingwood are a fighting chance, their position will be up for grabs in the 8. So we hope tomorrow Carlton can beat Port. North versus Geelong. Well, I think Geelong win, but North have been very competitive since the game against Collingwood, or maybe just a little bit before that. They've been really good. Gold Coast versus Brisbane. Once again, you're probably just wanting Brisbane to win for the sake of Collingwood. St Kilda to beat Essendon would be huge. GWS to beat Melbourne would be great. This one doesn't matter, but I think the Dockers get revenge on West Coast after they lost the reverse fixture earlier this year. Collingwood to beat the Tigers. Sydney to beat the Doggies would be another one. Guys, there's a lot of results that could go Collingwood's way to keep us relevant, right? Adelaide to beat Hawthorn, right? Geez, a ladder predictor would be very interesting right now. But I'll hold off from that until hopefully let's hope Collingwood win, and then maybe we'll do a ladder predictor later next week. Let's see what else we got. Peter was elite mid before knee injuries. Okay, and became a gun forward. There you go. Teams are out in 2 minutes, Steve, or extended teams at least. Back then, you played 40 to 60 games in the seconds to get hardened up. People overestimate the quality of footy in the past. Nick, yeah, exactly. It's similar to the NBA conversation, Woody, right? Like, people just overrate the past, and that's okay. Like, there are players that would transcend that generation, be just as good now. That's fine, but generally speaking, as a whole, yeah, it's overrated. Big Roo will be better and improve more than people think. Still yet to see Demetriou and we have McGuan to come in the following year, who is as good as Nick. Plenty of coin with retirement future. Peter kicking 12 Peters from 65 meters out on a run. I feel like if you try to do that these days, you just get dragged off the field. Let's just settle down. Nick will be great, but he's not close to the skills of his dad. Fuck. Huge call, Theon. Huge. That's a huge one. Where are we at, by the way? Like the video, but got to go. Thanks, Collingwood fan. Appreciate your support as always. Have a good night. So Peter Dacos, 25 votes, and it's 50-50. It's close. Maybe the question deserves more context, right? At the age of 21, who was better? I think that's the better question to be asking, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? All right, so hopefully extended teams should be just about out now. Let's have a gaze. Lineups. No, not yet. Nearly there. We're nearly there. Coxie's back, you reckon? Why do you say? Did you see something on Instagram, Digsby, that I haven't seen? Coxilla returns to the G this Sunday. Love that. So he's been announced, so he will play. So Mason Cox is back. I heard, that poster. I heard an interesting argument from someone saying that current Roos would beat the last two State of Origin teams. Interesting. I don't think they beat the 2020 State of Origin team. That's crazy. I don't think they'd beat the 2008 State of Origin team either. That's also crazy. Whoever said that, that's crazy. That's a madness. Are the teams announced yet? Extended teams or not? Here we go. Wow. Some interesting calls here. Lockie Schultz, Mason Cox, Billy Frampton, Jack Bytel, Harvey Harrison, Will Parker, all in the conversation. Reef McInnes, omitted. Nathan Kruger, injured. Joe Richards, omitted. Wow. Guys, what do we think about that? That's interesting. So who comes in? I think Bytel might come in for like a McInnes. Oh, so Mason Cox will come in for Kruger. I think Reef McInnes will come in for Bytel. And I think Schultz comes in for Richards. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, Manny. I know you love Mason Cox and his ruck work, and a lot of people do. So we'll see how he goes. Richards, how have they dropped Reef? Is that a worry from contractual standpoints? I don't know. I'm not sure where the clauses are and all that sort of stuff, Woody. I'm not too sure. Some of these ins are a disgrace. Frampton had 7 touches, could not get near it. Richards dropped. Fucked me. Yeah. Look, it is an extended squad, so I'm hoping like Frampton is not in, respectfully. Harvey Harrison, I'd welcome him back. They are strange selections, guys. They are strange selections. I'll tell you what. What is the... Yeah, extended teams. Interesting. Darcy Moore probably still playing the back line, right? Good for Will Parker if he plays. Like I said, this is extended, guys. Yeah. Reef McInnes and Joe Richards. Is it? Yeah. It is a head scratcher, guys. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we're still in it to win it. But I don't know if Frampton's the answer. I don't know if dropping Reef McInnes and Joe Richards are the answer. I thought they were both okay. I thought Richards was good with the minimal amount of impact he had in the game. I can see Bytel playing. That's fair enough. Mason Cox backs is nice. That helps out Darcy Cameron. Stav, McInnes out. Kruger injured. Joe Richards omitted. We're looking at Bytel, Schultz, Cox, Harvey Harrison, Billy Frampton's in the extended squad. So these are the types of players that we're looking at coming in and out. So yeah, the Richards and McInnes one is interesting. It's interesting, guys. I've got to go. I've got to keep going with this Scott Pendlebury documentary. I wanted to spend some time with you guys, get the teams out, and then go from there. DMR Bo is still out for another week. I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you guys probably for maybe tomorrow for the final teams. Okay, I'll jump on for a little bit tomorrow for the final teams. Have a good night, guys, and we'll see you soon. Go Pies.